Imagine this. Your dog is quietly sitting nearby. They're not barking, not whining, not tugging at your sleeve, but inside there's a need. A deep instinctual yearning they can't put into words, can't express through tricks or tail wags. They desperately want something from you. Not treats, not toys, not belly rubs. Something far more important. Something foundational. But what is it exactly that they want? To a human, a spontaneous lifestyle might feel fun and free. Doing whatever you want, whenever you want, is the kind of freedom we all dream of. But to a dog, it's chaos. I've said it before on this channel, and I'll be sure to say it again. But that's because it is one of the most crucial things any pet parent to a precious pooch must learn. Dogs are creatures of habit. In the wild, their ancestors lived in accordance with strict structures. They sleep in the same spots, they follow the same routines. They stick to consistent rhythms. In the dangerous realm that is the outside world, predictability wasn't a preference. It was fundamental to staying alive. So when your dog knows what's coming next, they can finally exhale. It's like having a calendar of plans or a neatly organized to-do list they can consult. They don't have to be on alert, wondering when they'll eat, whether you're leaving again, or if that sound at the door spells danger, because they know what to expect and when. This might seem mundane to you, but to them it is safety. They're not bored by routine. Conversely, they're relieved by it. This is weird, but think of it like Netflix autoplay. Sure, it takes the excitement out of choosing, but wow, does it save brain space? Because what any dog truly wants is novelty. It's an emotional shelter, and it's you who needs to build one. When we talk about dogs, which is all the time, let's be honest, the phrase indulgence comes up a lot. And in general life, in all our dynamics, indulgence is something we all want, something we all crave. But make like someone hugging a telecommunication device and hold the phone. Because the idea that unconditional indulgence is the same as love is a misconception as common as thinking the monster was called Frankenstein. Because of this, you might think that if you give your dog whatever they want, they'll be happier. But as any parents to human children will be able to tell you, that's not always for the best. If there is something your fur baby instinctively knows, and human babies will grow to know with time, it's that rules bring comfort. Boundaries mean someone is in charge. And if someone is in charge, the individual who is now following their lead doesn't have to be. Being relieved of that stress is a great form of love, and something we can all relate to. It's what our parents did for us when we were babies, and it's what you should do for your dog. Your dog doesn't want to decide when it's time to eat, when to bark, whether they should guard the house, or how to behave when something unfamiliar happens. Carrying that kind of responsibility puts them on edge. It's like asking a toddler to do your taxes. No thanks. When you calmly set limits, when you guide instead of negotiate, when you correct without losing your center, you're offering something that is precious to them. Leadership. Being a pet parent isn't just being a pet parent, it's being a pet manager. And in the eyes of your dog, that's the highest form of love. Imagine you're stressed and have a lot on. I mean, I'm sure you don't need to imagine it. Not quite a sci-fi situation, is it? Sadly, all too real. But still, imagine it for a moment. You've got 14 emails to reply to. You need to file your taxes. And as mentioned earlier, you can't exactly get your toddler to help with that. To boot, you need to cook dinner, there's ironing to be done, and you promised your uncle you'd ring him later. In the hectic hubbub of modern life, you forgot to feed your dog. It's all good. You remember an hour later, and all is well. You're probably thinking this hypothetical, but probably not that hypothetical scenario is more than fine. It doesn't matter if dinner is an hour or two later than usual, does it? And what about other small, one-off changes to the usual, like suddenly having unexpected guests over or skipping their usual evening walk to the park? Sorry, but yeah, to your dog, all of these changes actually are kind of a big deal. To your dog, these things aren't small. Dogs are so into routines. These tiny tweaks can feel as seismic as the ground shifting under their feet. To feel safe, dogs need the world to follow some kind of rhythm. When they know breakfast comes after you wake or that bedtime follows a certain quietness in the house, they don't have to guess. They don't have to stay alert. Their nervous system finds peace in patterns. What they most want is a world that makes sense, where the edges and lines don't keep moving. You know, like a playlist that doesn't suddenly throw in German death metal between Norah Jones tracks. This doesn't mean you can't have impromptu moments in your life. You are going to have friends over. You are going to have to occasionally skip walking them just once if something comes up. You might feed them an hour too late by mistake. That's normal. That's life. You've not failed your dog by having no choice to break rhythm now and then, by throwing in some German death metal. But it's important to know your dog does not dig this, so any attempt to avoid it is always good. That way, the unexpected moments become exceptions rather than business as usual. While we're on the subject of Norah Jones versus German death metal, which is not a sentence I thought I'd say in a video about dogs, but here we are, let's talk about energy in general. Because your dog massively prefers calm vibes. They want you to be more Norah Jones and less German death metal. But many of us fall into the habit of showing our love for dogs through big gestures, be it excited hugs, loud greetings, or general explosive bursts of affection. And these moments sure feel joyful, and they're great. They're fun. But to be honest, what your dog quietly craves is calm and consistent expressions of affection. Your dog, like all dogs, is a sponge, but for emotions rather than water. They soak up everything they're exposed to. Your tension, your frustration, your anxiety. When your energy is up and down, they absorb it. So their emotional grounding wobbles as yours does. So now then, if mercurial emotions from you can cause mercurial emotions in them, how do you prevent it? Well, if they soak up everything, the key is to ensure there's not anything bad for them to absorb, which is a weird but overly metaphorical way of trying to say what suits them is your steadiness, your ability to be with them without trying to entertain or excite, to be at peace and to be comfortable. If you can, greet them gently, guide them with composure, offer presence instead of intensity. Because beneath all their joy and curiosity, what they're looking for is peace, and they'll find it most easily in you, especially when you stop yelling, "Where are my socks?" at your partner every other morning. In short, if you give them a chaotic environment, they will join in. If you give them a calm one, they will join in. Dogs don't understand language the way we do. They can't read a dictionary or thesaurus. They don't know what our silly little words mean. Well, except walkies and food. Talk about selective hearing, right? Kinda like how kids understand, "Do you want McDonald's tonight?" but don't understand, "Please tidy your room." But they still understand certain aspects of what you mean because there are other ways to communicate than just words. They get your tone. They understand your posture. So long as you are consistent with how you conduct yourselves, they don't need to understand human words. They can simply get in sync with your vibes and rhythms. But as we were talking about earlier, a break in rhythms can be really frustrating for your dog. And that includes the rhythms of you, which sounds like a Taylor Swift song. When your reactions are unpredictable, for example, laughing at a behavior one day and scolding it the next, they're left disoriented and in confusion. They don't know what's safe. They don't know what works. The rules keep changing. Imagine how frustrating that must be. Imagine if you were playing soccer, but every 6 minutes the rules shifted. It would irritate you to no end. But when your responses are consistent, when your body language matches your voice, when your expectations stay steady, well then your dog begins to trust you. It means they don't have to guess. It means they understand you. And with that understanding comes confidence. And a confident dog is a happy dog, and a happy dog is a well-behaved dog. To you, it may feel repetitive, but to your dog, it may feel like clarity. And that clarity is a gift. Not a sparkly birthday gift with a bow kind of gift. Not the sort of gift they might give you, like a soggy tennis ball full of teeth marks. Finally I can sleep without checking the front door every 5 minutes kind of gift. We've sometimes overwhelmed dogs with affection when we feel guilty or emotional, or when we've missed them. And it's hard not to. Have you seen dogs? They're gorgeous and cute and irresistible, and oh gosh, I want to love bomb my dog right darn now. 1 minute we're busy and distracted, the next we're clinging to them like they're our lifeline. But for your dog, these love bombs can be a two process. Dogs don't understand sudden shifts, so these random emotional surges can leave them unsettled. They thrive on gentle presence, a kind of love that flows in small, steady ways instead of erupting in explosive moments. Things like a warm glance, a soft word, or a quiet pat as you walk past. They want a connection that doesn't shout or startle, that doesn't come out of nowhere. They want to feel loved in the quiet moments, not just the big ones. It's less rom-com proposal at the airport and more cup of tea waiting for you on the table. If they were your wife, I know that's a weird setup, but stick with it. They don't want flowers and a big gesture on Valentine's Day. They want consistent shows of support and affection day to day, moment to moment. Want to know what else you can do to be in the top tier of dog owners? Then you might want to watch this next video.